Bernie Sanders has got a lot of people frightened in the Democratic Party, especially the people in Hillary Clinton's camp. In fact, Jennifer Palmieri, who is the Clinton communication director, went on MSNBC and said, we're very worried about him, or I should say just worried about him. Sure, he will be a serious force for the campaign, and I don't think that will diminish. Okay. So now that's partly trying to acknowledge, no, we're not overly cocky. We know. That's partly to acknowledge, hey, look, we're not overly cocky. We know he's coming. Here's part of the reasons they know he's coming. Let me show you some of the crowds that showed up at the end of last week to see Bernie Sanders. That is a giant crowd. He's also made up great ground in the national polls. Some polls in New Hampshire have him only trailing by 10 points. He's made up double-digit points in Iowa. Yes, he's still trailing Hillary Clinton in nationwide polls, but it has now gotten so serious that they are asking about who would be in his cabinet, which we'll get to in 1 second. But back to Palmieri, she says it's to be expected that Sanders would do well in a Democratic primary, and he's going to do well in Iowa in the Democratic Caucus. In other words, he wouldn't do well in a general election. I mean, I guess you Democrats would be interested in him. Well, since you're about to run in some Democratic primaries, I'd be a little concerned about the Democrats voting in those primaries. So now it has gotten so serious that they're asking Bernie Sanders who his dream team will be, his cabinet. And boy, what a liberal dream team he has put together. Now, look, he says, don't be ridiculous. We're not going to know who my cabinet is unless I win. We're a long way from winning. This is far too premature. But you asked the question. I'm not going to be a Republican and try to avoid it. I'll give you the people I like. So obviously the center of the Bernie Sanders team is Bernie Sanders. So obviously he'll be the captain of that team. But now let's look at some of the other players. And starting point guard from the great state of New York / New Jersey, because he teaches at Princeton, Paul Krugman. And are you ready for this? At power forward, with several Nobels under his belt, Joseph Stiglitz. And finally, playing for Team Sanders would be former Labor Secretary, Super Lib Robert Royce. Drop the hammer. Look, I don't know that it's ever going to happen, but boy, that would be a lib dream team. The likes of which no one has ever seen. Washington doesn't see any of those guys, let alone all of those guys. Oh, man. I'm picturing them rolling up their sleeves thinking, feel the burn. Feel the burn. Look, I think Bernie Sanders has got to do a better job of trying to figure out how he's going to tackle the issue of getting money out of politics. But just on the number of conservative heads that would explode, I would love to see this dream team in the Capitol. Oh, my God. On Fox News alone. Bam! Bam! What is this? Oh, my God. It would be a sight to behold. Bill O'Reilly. Any of you see Inside Out, the anger guy? With the fire coming out of his head. Would be amazing. Look, that would just be his economic team. Wait till you get load of foreign affairs. Who's going to be his Secretary of Defense? Can't wait. Feel the burn!